Okay everyone, I just thought I would record the process of uploading a podcast to your YouTube channel. So I'm just going to record it as I do it. So this is completely new to me as well. So hopefully you'll find this video helpful. So I've just created a new podcast completely from scratch and I'm going to upload it to my channel. So the first thing you want to do is actually come up to your YouTube channel and go into your studio. So click on YouTube Studio. Okay, so once you're in your studio, I want you to go to the content tab. I think this is the easiest way to do it because we want to be able to upload a new podcast. And then we want to go to the create button. And as you can see, it says new podcast. So go ahead and click that. Now you get two choices, create a new podcast or set an existing playlist as a podcast. So I don't have any podcasts whatsoever on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to create a new podcast. And then give your podcast a title. So I'm going to name mine the Video Marketing Lounge Podcast. And then you add a description. So I'm just going to copy that and bring it down here. Video Marketing Lounge Podcast. Okay, so once you've done the title description, I want mine to be public and you can actually upload your own thumbnail. So I've already created my thumbnail in Canva, so I'm going to upload my square picture. So the thumbnail here is different. So I'm just going to grab that now and open. So I created a thumbnail in a square, the same as I did inside of my normal podcast, which is a new podcast over on Spotify and all the other platforms. So I'm just using the same graphics so that the branding is the same across all of the different podcasting platforms. Click create. And now it's asking me to upload a video. So you can upload something new or add an existing one. So I'm going to upload a brand new video to my podcast. So I'm going to click add videos and I'm going to upload a video. And I have a trailer I've already created. So I'm going to select file and I'm going to grab that trailer and I'm going to open that. So that's the video podcast that I recorded alongside my normal podcast. Then what you do is you add your trailer name in here. So I'm going to be putting in here and that's going to be my title. Remember, it's got to be within the 100 characters. And then you've got your description. So I'm going to go over to my Spotify area and copy the description of my other trailer. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to come over to here and I'm going to just get rid of all that and I'm going to paste that in. So now I've got this done and I'm going to swap this trailer link over to the podcast. So I'm going to do it the other way around this time. So then the thumbnail, because it's going to be a thumbnail. So here, select a thumbnail. So this is going to be a normal thumbnail again. So I've already created that. So I'm going to grab the thumbnail inside my graphics area. Bear with me. I did tell you this was raw footage. So this is the trailer. So I'm going to open that up and I've set it into the playlist. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do automatic chapters, features. Then I'm going to come back and do all of the tags. I'm going to come back and do everything else. They don't actually have a podcasting category. So I'm just going to put it into people and blogs like I normally do. And then I'm going to click next. Now, because I'm monetized, I am going to monetize this. So I'm going to click on and I'm going to click done. And then I'm going to go next. Now, obviously, you might not see that monetized option. So, go ahead and skip over that. I'm going to click that it's none of these things and I'm going to submit my rating. Now, because it's a video podcast, there are some video elements in there. So I'm going to add the subtitles in. I already have those. So I'm going to grab those in a second and add those in. We've also got end screens and cards. I'm going to put those in later because I'm going to let this upload first. I'm going to let the checks happen. So I'm going to click next and I'm going to unlist it for now. And I'm going to come back and schedule this later. So I'm going to click save and I'm going to allow YouTube to do its business whilst I wait. So as you can see, the standard definition version of your video needs to finish processing. So I'm going to keep it unlisted. It's got 32 minutes left. So I'm going to close this window. And that's all I need to do to actually create the podcast playlist and upload the podcast video to YouTube. So what I'll do is I'm going to come back later once I've done all of my edits and got it all ready, and then I'm going to schedule it ready to go out, and I will record that as well once I do that. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so here we are in part 2 of this uploading the podcast to YouTube. So I've come back into my account and we've done the title, I've changed the description, I've got my thumbnail, I've got my playlist, I've got my tags, and everything in this section is all done and dusted. So over here on the right hand side, I want to just look at the subtitles, end cards and end screen. So the subtitles, if you click on it, it actually pulls the text from your podcast into here. So what you can do is you can just edit the podcast text and then it will show the graphics. And you can see here that when you press play, and you can see that when it's blue on the timeline, it's showing the graphics and the text subtitles there. And you can go through and correct any of the spelling or anything like that that you want to. And then end screen, what I would suggest you do for end screen, like the other end screens for like a normal video, just have one of these options. So a video and a subscribe. So I'm going to have my subscribe option. And what we're going to do is we're going to click add element and we're going to do playlist. Now this time I'm going to choose my Video Marketing Lounge podcast playlist. So whenever somebody's on this video, they can go straight to the next video. And I'm going to just remove this one and I'm going to delete this by clicking the delete option. So now I've just got these 2 options here. So I'm going to save that. So that's my end screen sorted. And then cards, depending on whether you have cards or not, I'm quite lucky because I've got a video, playlist, channel or link. So if you wanted to put a link in here, I would probably put it down to my download. But for the first video, I'm just going to keep them on here. I'm not going to do anything here. So what I might do is I might just add the playlist, which is the one that I want them to concentrate on, which is my podcasting one. And I'll click save there. So everything on this podcast page video is leading them back into the podcast. And then I'm going to actually schedule this. So what we do now is I'm going to swap it from unlisted. So I unlisted it. Remember earlier on in the video, I unlisted it so that I could make sure that there was no copyright claims or anything like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to schedule this to go out the same time as my podcast is going out on my podcast channels. So I've actually scheduled that for the 23rd, which is tomorrow. And I am going to put this at the same time. So both times they can either watch it on here or they can watch it over or listen to it on my new podcast over on Spotify and all the other podcasting platforms. Now, because this is a new option, I'm going to build up a little bit of anticipation for this. So I'm actually going to set this as a premiere. So when it's a premiere, it means that it will show up on the front of my channel page. So I'm going to set it as a premiere because I think that's really good. And I'm going to click done. And then it says set up premiere. So what that means is I can set up the premiere ready for it to go. So you can have a classic option. So I'm just going to maybe do a bright option for this. So it gives it a little bit of, no, we don't like that one. Let me just choose a different one. And then we're going to do 1 minute. So this is the 1 minute timer. So that's what will show up when it's 1 minute. I don't know if I like that. I'm going to swap it again. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm going to use that. And now redirect normally means allow people to redirect to viewers engaged. So I'm going to come back into here once I've uploaded my other video and redirect it to that one as well. And then the trailer, if you wanted to, you could do like a little trailer, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to save that. And now I'm premiering this. It's going to show up on the front of my channel. So I'm going to save this and that's going to go up onto my page. And as you can see, it says premiere. So that means that this brand new podcast that I'm launching is going to be on my front page. So to show you that, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to my channel. And there is the Video Marketing Lounge podcast all ready for people to sign up to. So once I've loaded the second video up, ready to go, then that will show up there as well. Okay, brilliant.